Okay, 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. Waiting for confirmation over here. I think I need a little bit more level. Okay, I can see myself. Okay, I started a little bit earlier so I can check some things, and we can start. Okay, let me know if you can hear the voice correctly, and let me know if you can hear the bass right here. Okay, so it's if you can hear everything out of delay, that's a usual problem. You can let me know, and we can start. Okay. So if you've never been here, this is a place for you to give me some questions about bass, of course, about music, about whatever instrument or knowledge I can give you. It's not universal knowledge. In some cases it's just my opinion, but in some other cases it's opinion based on experience. I've been playing for about 6-7 years bass. This bass is a Washburn Taurus T24, and that's it. I've been doing this for about I don't know how many of this have I been doing, but it's been great answering some of your questions, getting into some of the songs that I've been playing. So I'll remind you, this is the place for you to give me questions about technique, especially about songs related, theory, whatever you want, really. Okay. So I've been playing and doing some exercises regarding the questions that you give me. And yeah, there's some questions that many people usually ask, and if you're new, you gotta know I'm not from America, so sorry about the accent. I'm from Chile, but I think I've been improving. You know, I like it when someone says that that they can understand me a little bit better. I guess. I don't know. I think I can be understood now. The thing about accents, it's difficult, and I'm not aiming to replicate an American accent, really. I know that I have some Latin American things that I can't get rid of, but I don't really care. I just really care about the message. In this case, face reveal. There's no such thing as face reveal. You can actually see that in the stream of in the 200K live stream I did, kind of like a face reveal, and I just talked. I didn't play. It was kind of like a celebration of it. And I have the band channel, man. In the band channel you can watch me doing some crazy things, and there's my face and whatever. Okay. And the thing here is just focusing the attention of you into the instrument, really. Okay. It's just about that. Y también en español, no hay ningún problema, como siempre. Les digo, estoy respondiendo en español preguntas que se hagan en español. Me doy ese tiempo si es que alguien lo desea. Okay? Just clarifying the usual questions about Spanish speaking questions. Creo que voy a hacer en algún momento un stream solo en español, así que sí sé que tengo audiencia latina, ¿ya? Pero lamentablemente la audiencia no latina es bastante superior, así que sería ridículo de mi parte hacerlo de otra forma, ¿ya? Y en vez de reclamar tanto, hagan preguntas. Si estoy siempre respondiendo, no sé por qué reclaman tanto estos weones. Ok. So I'll be waiting for some questions of you. And in the meantime, I will just telling you things, I guess. I hope you enjoyed the tool cover I just uploaded. It was kind of like a harder work than the usual type of work that I've been doing, especially on the tone. It's usually a difficult tone to get, so I struggle with it a little bit, and I'm not that happy actually with the different results of the different parts of it. But in some cases, you can actually notice when a bass line is really well engineered, and usually I think the wall bass that he uses is an active bass. So when I try to replicate active sounds, it's always difficult. The active sound versus the passive sound, it's really different for me, I think. And the active sound you can notice really in some metal bands, I guess. It's a really well defined sound and a lot of brightness and definition. I don't know. It's a great sound. I would love to have an active bass. And we have the usuals. Thanks for being here. I was just thinking, and it's a great idea. If you're a usual here and you know some of the tips that I've been giving you, you can give them to the people in the chat. There's no problem with that, okay? As long as you do it great, of course. I always say it, but teaching, it's in most cases the best way to learn yourself. Even if you, I think the thing difficult to begin doing is starting the will and the decision just to teach something, because you always have struggles thinking, okay, maybe I don't know that much about it. And you will never know that much about anything. That's the thing. I personally, I don't consider myself an expert, even in bass, you know. But you can talk about your experience, and that's anything about teaching. If you do it well, you may get some results in people, and that's great. And I think I've been doing it a little bit for some of you. Pero aquí tenemos en español, así que nos motivamos en español. ¿Cómo es la técnica de slap? Ya, vamos a hacerlo corto. And for people in English, I think someone in Spanish asked me about how to slap, and that's a usual thing. So I'll be doing it in Spanish now, but you can always remember. It's more a visual thing. Okay, en español entonces, ¿cómo hacer slap rápidamente en un minuto? Lo más importante aquí es posición, ¿okay? Posición es lo más importante para después despegar en creatividad. Por lo tanto, importante mano derecha, ¿cierto? Tengo cuerdas nuevas, así que se va a notar. El movimiento es de muñeca, el brazo relajado en esta posición, apoyado aquí en esta parte del bajo, siempre tocando en esta parte al final del ¿cómo se llama? El cuello, ¿cierto? Entonces estamos aquí y movimiento de muñeca lento, de esta manera. El dedo, el pulgar obviamente, se toca con esta parte de la articulación, que sería como la parte más huesuda que sobresale, ¿cierto? Entonces, tocamos. Ahora debe haber una especie de rebote, tiene que ser como una especie de movimiento látigo, ¿cierto? No nos quedamos aquí, si no ahí no suena nada, ¿cierto? Por tanto, practicar soltura de muñeca, eso es importante. Ok, entonces teniendo ya este sonido bien lleno, ¿cierto? Importa también tener las cuerdas bien cerca, lo suficientemente cerca del cuello para que haga el golpe que necesitamos percusivo. Y una vez que eso esté relativamente ejecutado bien, podemos empezar a jugar con ello. Ahora esa es la primera parte de slap. También está el popping, que viene a ser levantar la cuerda con índice o medio. Desde debajo tocamos, tomamos la cuerda y la levantamos. Y ese levantamiento, cuando uno suelta con el mismo movimiento de muñeca, va a generar otro sonido tipo slap, ¿okay? Entonces tenemos esos dos, ¿okay? Creo que es un poco más importante fijarse en este, porque es un poco más complejo, ¿ya? Porque hay que, ¿cierto?, tener una buena técnica de muñeca, hacer un buen rebote. Hay gente que en vez de levantar en un movimiento así, prefiere tocar y después reposar este dedo en la cuerda subsiguiente, ¿ya? Es una buena idea también, pero un poco más complejo porque puede llevar a que esta cuerda no suene tan llena, ¿okay? Hay que tener cuidado con eso. Siempre es tocar y levantar un poco. Con ese rebote que uno hace, con esa fuerza de muñeca, se genera un rebote automático, ¿okay? Y para popping prácticamente lo mismo, pero al revés. O sea, levantamos y la cuerda hace su trabajo de golpear, ¿okay? Van a haber callos, cuidado con eso. Y no tocar cuando hay callos, ojalá. O sea, cuando hay ¿cómo se llaman? Ampollas. Cuando hay callos sí se puede tocar. Cuando hay ampollas, lo mejor es dejarlas reposar hasta que se conviertan en callos. Y un buen ejercicio para practicar es tomar cualquier nota. Puede ser un La aquí, en quinto espacio, puntito, te lo indica. Después una octava, que vendría a ser en el séptimo espacio, pero de la cuerda subsiguiente. O sea, en la cuerda Mi y en la cuerda Re. Practicamos octavas de esta forma: un slap, un pop, ¿ya? Lentamente y sin ningún tiempo primero, tratando de que suene bien primero, ¿ya? Si suena bien, después ya no hay mayor diferencia en lo que podemos avanzar, ¿ya? Ok, preguntas las pueden ir dando dentro de la hora y media que voy a estar probablemente, ¿ok? Voy a volver a inglés porque si no la gente se me enoja, supongo. But that's it. I was just talking about how to slap, you know. If you want it resumed, it's just, I think the most important thing is about managing to do a well done wrist movement. For me, is important to this motion. It's really important, okay, to maintain it well and relaxed and fixed and well applied to rhythm, really, because if you it's just like strumming in guitar. When you strum in guitar and you get this motion, it's already wrist too. So I think the wrist is really important when you attend to whatever string instrument, because it gives you the movement you need. And many people think it's most about the fingers, but the fingers just do the work. I think the fixed work for me. Okay, you press, you don't press, you slightly press maybe for left hand, and of course for right hand in bass it's more applied to. But the wrist for slapping, really important. Okay, for doing things like this. I don't know. especially if you want to just apply a fast slapping and doing some things like this. It's a really usual thing, playing 2 slaps and then 1 pop, something like this. I remember having some troubles with that because it's faster and you need to rebound in a really specific way with your wrist. And then you practice it and you can do some things like kind of the Master of Puppets version of Primus. I don't know if you remember that. It was something like this, I think. Yeah. Doing that and not being tired for a long while, it's difficult. Because you're doing a lot of work with slapping. I think if you manage to do really fast slapping, you expand yourself a little bit more. Okay, so for that, practicing just slapping in this way, maybe doing some exercise like this. And maybe trying to push yourself to the limits a little bit. But it's always trying to maintain a good sound. That's the thing. You can actually find a really hot spot of your wrist movement like this and being constantly slapping. But it's really difficult by doing it fast. But you gain a lot of grounds to do some things. Okay, but that's it. I'm going to allow me to do some writing over here so I don't get lost when I finally upload this. I don't really remember what I went through, so maybe I'll do some time notes, okay? This was how to slap, so I'll remember that, and for the next one I will write, okay? So I do some time marks, maybe later, I don't know. Someone asks about something over here. What's the best modern love song to play outside someone's window? I don't know what you mean by modern, really. What is modern? Like from the 2000s? I don't know. But you have a lot of examples over there. Okay, I wrote a small 7 on top of the neck to guide myself whenever I get lost. Would you consider this a good idea, or would you consider this a bad habit? Okay, I'm not really sure you should be doing that for a long time, you know, because if you are confronted with another type of bass that is not the one that is yours, you maybe will get a little bit lost anyways. So I remember having troubles guiding myself along the neckboard because of the same. But once you get accustomed to guide yourself by the little dots over here, they actually are for that, to understand that for example in the 12th fret you have again the same open strings, but in the higher octave, yeah, that just invites you to reflection in saying this is half of the string, really, okay? Whichever you're doing an octave on the same string, you are cutting actually the string in half. In case you didn't know, that's kind of like the intro to Pythagorean proportions, really, okay? and that's I think the most important thing in reflections about music, about how to create a melody. And it's just dividing a string to create more and more notes in between. Yeah. So half it's an octave, and half of that half over here would be kind of like the fifth. I think I remember. Yeah. And you see that with the over there with the harmonics. But yeah, someone says about techniques of funk, ghost notes, and more. Okay, about ghost notes, I think I always talk a little bit, okay, but maybe applied to funk. Usually for funk, you really need to get into some into listening some of the funk lines and trying to understand them a little bit well, okay. But a really usual type of funk chord that you can apply is just a 7 chord, probably something like that. I don't know. Something like that. Really easy. It's actually better if you reflect about it. What I'm doing right here with that little thing, especially, it's remarking that we are doing the 7th of the chord over here, and it's a minor 7, right? So we're getting rid of the usual A major over here that contains just a semitone from the last note to back to the original note, and we're doing a whole tone. So that implies that you're doing a 7th chord, and then you're doing a mixolydian scale, okay, around this type of chord. So something like this. Okay, so it's a flat 7th that makes you get into that. But it's all about rhythm, man. I think it's all about rhythm in some cases, especially for just doing something like the thing that I just uploaded. Play that funky music from Wild Cherry. I think it's a really good song for you to start understanding how to create a simple bass line on a funky rhythm. You know, a lot of octaves really, and a lot of going around it really. And with only with that simple line, you're sounding like you're funk, yeah. But because you're getting into the rhythm, bam, 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 and yeah, the ghost notes. It's really important because what you're doing with ghost notes, besides doing percussive sounds around this, you're also permitting yourself to create different types of rhythms, more complex rhythms, because you're guiding yourself into breaking the accents and making a I don't know how do you say it. We'd say it's syncope. I don't know if it's a term familiar with English speaking people, but going out of the first beat the main the strong beat will give you a lot of the funky feel of anything. Okay, a lot of the groove. When people usually refer about groove, it's usually really strongly applied into playing behind or after the strong beat. Okay, so you're not doing something like this. I don't know. For this same example, for something like that, what makes you think it's a great rhythmic tune is because you're not doing it strongly into the strong beat. You're not doing something like this. That goes into another realm. Eventually, it gives you another type of feel, more like a square feel. You know, you're going into the beat, and that's not bad. In some cases, you just need to follow the style of the genre. Okay, so if you do something like this, any funk guy will say, okay, you need more groove into that. Okay, you need to apply more groove. So you go. Or whatever, I don't know. Yeah, it's all about that in most cases. Okay. But that's it. I always forget to write the things. I think I will just have to remember what I was just talking about. Okay, but groove, it's a really important and interesting thing to apply, because many people tend to say things about groove and they don't really understand. They say, okay, you need more groove, you need more. It's like the thing that I don't share that much, and many musicians have, is that they apply their own language, their own terms into something, and you can't relate to that. Okay, if someone says, okay, you need to give it more whatever. Okay, and you're like, okay, what do I do then? You need to try to explain things in order to get what you want, really, and that is managing more terminology. I think it's already important. Okay, understanding what is really grooving, and in some cases you can groove around something that is on the beat, and not necessarily you have to break it out. Some people apply it into good dynamics. Okay, good dynamics applied into not playing something with that really even dynamics. If I do something like this, I'm playing with even dynamics. I'm just trying to even out things that might sound too soft or too hard, and getting into a middle position. Okay, but if I tend to play more with that, I get into a more playful thing. Of course, maybe I can soften out some parts. Maybe I can go harder on some other strong parts. Making accents, making differences in that will also give me kind of like a groovy feel in some aspect. You know, maybe something like this. into a passage and you're trying to apply that, maybe doing something like this, really funky, yeah, it sounds great. But if you do it in a really strong, even dynamic, maybe you're not getting into what you can exploit out of that. Maybe you can apply more dynamic, you know, and finishing softly, or maybe in the opposite, trying to play with that. Okay, if you're going over a scale, over a line, you know, I don't know. It's different doing that this. You know, applying that. It's like making when someone talks about making your instrument talk, it's usually applying techniques or aspects of the human voice into your instrument. Okay, and for that it's interesting, because it's an interesting theory and an interesting thing to think about, because you're trying to emulate the human voice into any instrument, really. When you see emotion in an instrument, when you see a really tasty guitar solo and someone whatever, or whatever thing you can do over there, you're applying things that you're familiar with, because it's on the human voice, really. You're bending. You when you talk and when you sing, you don't go note for note. You don't have frets that define your different notes. You go from one note to and you go bending out. Okay, and that gives you the human expression. So if you want emotion, you usually should tend to go into human expression, really. Okay, so that's a really interesting thing to notice, and it's applied to anything. As I said, you can make a solo shine in a different way if you apply more of that human expression, really. So what I like about this instrument, it's that you can be a lot more versatile in applying different things that create good music. Okay, you have percussive elements, really, in bass, that are flowing, really, if you're not even intending to do it. But to make more expressive elements into the bass, you really need to think about it a little bit more. A lot of basses are not that expressive into their lines, into what they are doing. Maybe where they're doing something simple, I don't know. Maybe something like that. How can I give that more expression? And that's why it's important to know a lot of your techniques, your hammer-ons, your slides, your bends. Gives you more into that expression that you need for applying more of the human voice, the human element, you know. You know, giving that vibrato in some cases, not really very used in bass, but even if you don't notice at first hearing, you will give more of the element of the voice. That's really, really important for me, I think, if you want to create more emotion into it. But it shouldn't be applied as a standard. If you want to get rid of that, it's cool, okay? Many genres don't intend to go into that emotional expression and go more into the instrument itself, the fixed things about the instrument, okay? When you sing, you actually don't go into much higher intervals. You don't jump from one interval to another that fast. So if you want to create more expression, always you're trying to do something like fast passages that go into notes, but really with smaller intervals. For example, I don't know, the same thing. But for bass and for many other instruments, really, you can take advantage of the physicality of the instrument itself to create interesting things. Okay, maybe it's really difficult for a singer to do something like this. You going over. This is a thing that you will see me do really often because I really like it. It's just making 3/5 intervals in a row to create kind of like this that little chord that you can create. It's just a succession of fifth, and I really like it. It's, I think, a part of my language in a way, and I really like the use of it, of the ninth in the bass, and that's something that's purely in the physicality of the instrument, I think. Okay, so you need to take advantage of both worlds, I think, the instrument and the creation of expression that comes into analyzing the human voice, really. Can you recommend something from stamina training? I check your tutorials, but I need something more. Okay. I recommend you to go into songs, really. I think that the songs that have most challenge my stamina are really obviously metal and fast songs. Try to get a little bit more into Iron Maiden, really, to do some of the gallops. Try to get into that, and I always tend to guide people into playing Hysteria, even if you don't like it. It's a really nice thing because you're playing along just one string and trying to move around with, so you need to take care of the notes, but just playing a string over all the time with something like that. Sorry. You can repeat that. And trying to push yourself always, okay? But I tend to go into playing a lot of warming up and going faster and faster. That's for me the practice of stamina. In most of the cases, just doing something like that. And trying to push myself into the minute I can't do it really that well, you know? You need to stop in the minute that you feel that you're not getting the notes well. It's not the goal here is it's trying to get the same amount of clarity on playing as you're playing slow. Okay, if you're playing fast and you kind of like go down in clarity and cleanness, it will be difficult for you to get something out of that speed, really. Okay. The good thing about fast players is that they can maintain, or they should maintain, the same amount of cleanness, even if they're playing fast or slow, really. Okay. Another type of stamina really goes into playing in this part of the bass, you know, the thicker part. So playing exercises over here, it's always a great option, you know, doing the same thing, but over here with one finger per fret. It's really tiring after a while if you're not doing it in the right position. Okay, if you're not going into it with your arm and your wrist. Okay, I always give that example so you can actually watch what I'm doing with my arm and with my wrist. Okay, when I'm going over this part, this should be your position. You should go more into it with your arm and with your wrist. Okay, not trying to do something like that. Okay, expanding your fingers will give you a lot of strain into it. So you really need to become a really thick boy over here and trying to play over the thicker parts, and then you will go over here and you will feel nothing really. And physicality and linking that into someone else that I think that asked me about the action, the how high are your strings in comparison to the bass itself, to the fretboard. And if your strings are really tight to the fretboard, you will suffer less of the strain or the tiredness of high stamina things. Okay, because you will need less effort to push into the strings. Now I think I'm having a little bit of a low action because I've been playing Tool, so you need a little bit of that snap, really. But I tend to go for a little bit of a higher action. I really like more the sound of the not fretting sound that you can get. Okay, or maybe having a middle, an in between that. Okay, in which you can play soft and maybe not hit the fret sound, and when you play it, when you go into it, you dig a little bit harder and you get more of that sound. That can help into your expression really. But some people like to get a really low action so they can play really fast and get tired in less. But if you, I always try to think about it like I don't know, in Dragon Ball when someone said, okay, let's fight for real, and then they took out their clothes, and the clothes just snapped into the ground, and it was about a ton of weight that he's been carrying, and now he's really fast. You know, if you practice with the with a more aggressive, with a more hostile instrument, then you will pick a more easy to play instrument, and it will be nothing for you really. Okay, so try to maybe practice with a bit higher action and try to dig out a little bit more. Okay, it's like when you play with your old acoustic guitar and you had the strings really high and you try to play an F over here, and it was like hell really. So when you do that and you go into a really nice guitar, it's just like nothing really. So I tend to go into practice with higher action, but there's some recommendations really. It's not a standard, and I usually, when I play fast, I don't play over here because it's a lot messier sound. Okay, you really need to play in this part if you want to play fast and a well-defined fast passages. That gives you more of the sound you want, really, more definition, I think. For a scale, for example, A major over here. Now I have a clean string, so I think you're noticing a lot of the sound behind the strings, but it's just the capture of the microphone into the bass. That's why it doesn't sound that great, I think. But what goes into the signal is not that messy, okay? Josh Cruz says, I haven't changed my electric guitar string in 2 years. Yeah. But I think changing strings really depends in whatever instrument, really depends. But I gotta say, I think, in my opinion, for bass, it's a really different tone that you can get with new strings, or maybe fresh strings, maybe strings that haven't been on the bass for years. You know, if you change strings, you notice you have a really strong fundamental. That's the first harmonic of the note, and you can actually hear the harmonics behind that just by playing the note. Really, you can feel the other instrument, a very harmonically rich string. And that is because it's I think it's a thicker string, and it gets more filled with dirt and nasty things, because we're in high contact with them. We're just playing them over here with our fingers, and the natural oil and fat of the fingers gets into between the strings, and they get more dead after a while. That's why they call it dead strings. And for some cases you need dead strings, and for some other cases you don't. It's all about a tone, really. Okay, but I always think that for guitar you can, especially if you're playing with distortion, you can't really notice. It's not that important in some cases. Just depends. Okay. Yeah, that's I think I forgot. Super chat is activated in case someone wants a more detailed thing, and whatever. Okay, but I don't think we have that many people, so I can actually answer most of your questions. I don't know. Okay. Español. Mateo Chipi. Hola. ¿Puedes contarnos cómo fue tu experiencia de aprendizaje para llegar a ese nivel? Uy, se fue para arriba. ¿Qué tuviste que hacer, dónde estudiaste, etcétera, etcétera? Bueno, que rápidamente siempre lo digo, en verdad. Primero que nada, no considero tener un gran nivel, un nivel experto ni nada. Y mucho de ello se ha adquirido con los años, y prácticamente te puedo decir que en currículum lo que hice fue estudiar en música en Valparaíso, estudié licenciatura en música, pero eso no se aplica realmente si lo piensas en el bajo en sí, o sea, en el instrumento. Antes tocaba guitarra, quizás eso ayudó bastante a conocer un instrumento de cuerda, pero todo va en práctica, realmente práctica y experiencia, y práctica bien aplicada, ¿ya? Eso es lo que yo estoy tratando de hacer, en verdad, con el canal, principalmente. Y es práctica bien aplicada, en el sentido de, si vas a tocar una canción o si vas a hacer algo, primero trata de investigar el porqué de muchas de las cosas que están pasando, ¿okay? Si estás haciendo esto, lo que sea, ¿Por qué cada nota suena así? ¿Por qué? O sea, tratar de cuestionarse más las cosas y tratar de tener una buena conciencia de aprendizaje, ¿ya? Para eso creo que es importante, no sé, bueno, hay gente que gracias a mucho de su crianza y mucha de su experiencia ha tenido la oportunidad de que les digan que cuando vas a hacer algo tienes que hacerlo bien, en todo sentido, en su sentido claro, en el sentido de no hacer algo solo por hacerlo y no entender por qué lo estás haciendo. Ya, eso es importantísimo, creo, y tiene mucho que ver con lo que trato de decir aquí en el canal, creo. Pero tu experiencia académica a veces no tiene nada que ver realmente, especialmente cuando quieres adquirir técnica. Si quieres adquirir solo técnica, em, principalmente es solo imitación, realmente. Es solo tener una buena práctica de imitación y lo puedes sacar por prueba y error. Ahora, si lo puedes hacer más rápido o a mayor o menor conciencia, al camino creo que vas a llegar igual. Pero todo tiene que ver con constancia. ¿Ya? Otra cosa súper importante, otra palabra importantísima, ¿ya? Y constancia a veces lucha en favor de tu, de tu diario vivir, en el sentido de que hay veces en que no quieres practicar o que no puedes o dices que no puedes pero no lo haces. Y especialmente en las primeras veces que estás tratando de llegar a un cierto nivel, lo importantísimo es hacerlo todos los días. Tratar de al menos 15 minutos, incluso si no puedes, 10, no sé. Tomar el instrumento, familiarizarte con él, hacer algo, frustrarte un poco, querer llegar más allá y después descansas. Duermes, qué sé yo, y al otro día lo intentas de nuevo y así vamos, vamos. Y lo vas a llegar a hacer igual, ¿ok? Tiene que ver con constancia porque así funciona también tu cuerpo experiencial realmente, ¿ya? Así que practicar todos los días si quieres tener un poco más de práctica, realmente eso es, ¿ya? Bueno, me fui a la mierda. Back to English. Okay. Okay. If Mr. Nassim wants more attention, he will not get it. Actually, if he keeps saying things, he will be I think put in timeout. I will kick him out of the classroom. Really, okay. So behave, boys. I don't want spammers, and I want opportunities for anyone over here. Okay. I have full control of this, so don't. I'm a dictator over here. So stop it. Weird question. How much did you pay for both of your tattoos? Well, they weren't that expensive. I don't remember. I think in conversion it's about $30. I don't remember. It's really simple, actually. I like simplicity. If you notice, in a way, in a more minimalistic way. I was going to do some other things around this, but I just went to the symbol. Okay, I like more the simplicity of the symbol itself. But that's it. What happened to the Twitch streams? Oh yeah. Sorry about that. I haven't been paying that much attention into it. I've been doing other things, really, reading a lot. I don't know, other things. But they are not aim to be constant. Really, I do it when I want to, and it's really unprofessional over there. I'm just practicing it and messing around. But yeah, that's it. Okay, let me be more clear. I know how to read sheet music. I know many major scales. I know technique. where do I go from there to learn and master theory and make it easier to understand notes overall? I think you have it really. If you know, many people, okay, they say, I know how to do that. I know how to do that thing. I managed to do it, but maybe when you get the points, you get all the points together. You kind of like line all that up. You start getting more into the puzzle. Okay, you get more things into the puzzle, and you understand that anything is tied together really. But you didn't mention harmony, and I think for popular music, harmony it's all really. Harmony it's important to understand and to know about chords and to know how to apply things over chords. Okay, but if you want more knowledge into theory, I actually recommend you to read about or maybe watch some videos about the history of music. Really will give you, I think, more understanding about how we are getting into all of this. Really, history of music. I think you have a really good documentaries on YouTube, and get more into it. Read more books, and if you have different questions, you can ask me. Really, I would like to debate a little bit more about theory. I don't have that much knowledge, infinite knowledge about it, but not many people ask me things about theory, how to approach different things in a more detailed question, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. For instruments, for example, if you want to apply it to bass, I'm more into thinking that if you know how to develop your instrument into harmony, into chords, you're quite done for at least for popular music, I think. Okay, if you know what to do when you are confronted with an A minor chord, and knowing the notes and knowing what's the deal about it and how you can connect the key center into it. But most of all, really, theory should be applied into what you want from music. Okay, you shouldn't be learning theory just for learning theory, just for the power of the knowledge of it. You know, it all should be applied into your language. Okay, we are all here trying to create things. I think that should be your ultimate goal, applying your theory and your knowledge into creating, into whatever you want. But if your goals imply knowing a lot of theory, you need to get into it really, and maybe getting some classes. Why not? I actually don't ever recommend about getting classes, because I think we're aiming into a world, especially here on YouTube, that in some years I think you will get many things out of this. You will learn a lot of things just by using this platform wisely, and you should really protect this platform, use it wisely. And that's why I get a little bit mad when someone doesn't use this platform well, and they throw some stupid things into comments, or hate-based comments or power-based comments. Really, I hate, and ego, it's really a thing in music. But many people think because they know better about something, they really do know something. We don't really know nothing about music. You know, if you go more into philosophical grounds, and I really like getting into that part. You know, especially in contemporary music and the way contemporary musicians are developing and challenging music. Not by knowing harmony or theory you are better. You're not aiming into a power struggle over here. Okay, it's all about doing what you want with this that we can do. So, and that's why I try to put people in place when they say, okay, this is bad, this is not good, this is no, this artist sucks, or whatever. You know, those are opinions that don't matter really, because they are just yours. You can get into much of that conversation. You know, criticizing goes more into it and its conversation. And we need to be smart to really protect platforms, okay? And that's it, okay? If you're not wise and if you're not intelligent with this, you will get nowhere, even in whatever place, really. So that's my thought about theory. I don't know. I know some things, but I like to apply them. Even if I don't know something, I don't get scared by it. Okay, I just need to understand that music goes into the. I think oversimplifying it's always great. You know, harmony is just managing voices to cross in between them and glue together, and that's it. That's harmony. Rhythm is just differences and in the tensions of music, you know. And it goes. Oh, if you go more into the simple things, you will not get scared of whatever thing you don't know, and you won't allow someone to scare you for some things that you don't know. Again, we all can learn something if we want to, and if we don't want to, it's your way, okay? Music is an art, as I always say, of limitations, and for that, limiting yourself, it's always even good, okay? You can't learn anything because there's no peak, there's no perfection in this that we call music. There's just what you want to learn, and if you want to limit yourself, you can create something with that limitations, okay? I would love to create maybe just a song with 2 notes or those type of limitations, you know. And that's why I don't like it with some people throw shit into bands that don't carry much expression of their technique or theory or whatever. Okay, they're doing what they're doing best with their limitations. If you think about punk bands and Nirvana and whatever, they have more merit even to create things that are great and good lyrically or in expression, because they are having less ground to play with. Okay, so that's important to think about. Sorry if I go into much more of the stupid things about philosophy and whatever, but I'm like this, so sorry. Okay, we're about an hour. I think I'll be doing a little bit more, and we're done. How many instruments do you play? Okay, I play bass. Okay, in order of what I think it's from good to bad. I play guitar, I play bass, then guitar, then electric guitar, then maybe drums, then piano, keyboard. After that, all the winds that I have some flutes. I have an ocarina actually. I have a kazoo. What else I have? I don't know, but I go more into stringed instruments really, and I don't sing that well, really. Maybe I go in tune, but I don't have a lot of technique. I would put singing maybe behind anything. But I know. I think it's important to manage a little bit of experience with any instrument you can have. If you can have a really tiny instrument and trying to get into it, you will get experience. I have actually some percussive instruments that I play with, and just by knowing how to do them, I gain experience, and I gain experience that can be applied into the instrument. That's important. Okay, I think I learned a little bit of drums in the necessity of getting more into tight rhythms and applying this into the instrument, into bass, into what you mean to be your main instrument. I think we all have a main instrument in a way. Okay, now you can ask your questions, no problem. Can you teach me the part of Monet? Maybe you mean money? I don't know, because Monet is, I think he's a painter. I don't know. Oh yeah, money. I think I went into that little riff in other stream, but for that part I think it's just that. Just going chromatically, you know, with one finger per fret and applying the ghost note. Okay. I don't know what your struggle with it is. You need to tell me about what is your problem with the thing that you want me to get you more understanding on. Okay. Power chords on bass. For bass, it's kind of like the same thing, but it's a little bit more difficult because of the distance between strings between frets. You know, you shouldn't be playing a power chord in bass like this. It's really difficult. You need to apply the little finger over here, ring, and then index to create the power chord. You can strum it like a guitar, maybe do it like a strumming type, a Primus type strumming. I don't remember. That's an example. But yeah, power chords. It's just a fundamental note, the fifth, and the octave. I usually go into the octave. I never do a power chord with just this. I think it's more strong if you do it with like this. You're marking more of the fundamental and giving less of the fifth, but it's there, of course. Could you go over the ghost notes when playing Dark Necessities by Red Hot Chili Peppers? You mean the main riff? Probably, I don't remember. Yeah. If it is that, it's important. Okay, for ghost notes into slap. For notes, I think you can make ghost notes in the same thing, in the same way. You know, it's just slightly pushing, but not pressing into the fret, so you get the percussive sound, as I always say. If you apply it into slapping, you need to take care more of the undesired noises, really. So for example, if I'm doing something like this, first playing 2 slaps, and I'm making into the ghost note with the most fingers I can. I'm using index and a little bit of the little finger to maintain a good percussive sound. If I would do it just like this, you know, just with my index, you will get a lot of noise, and you will not go into the goal of making it clear. Okay. Okay, it should be something like this. Look how my position changes from this or maybe using this finger, the ring finger, so you get more into the position of this note that you will play for the next part. So what I recommend you is to play the same rhythmic pattern, this, but all with ghost notes, and then you apply it into playing notes and ghost notes. That's the difficult part, changing between. Okay. For that thing, I'm covering the whole all the strings to get more precision into this, okay? So really slow. Look at the left hand fingers, how they apply into covering more grounds to create a really good ghost note sound. Okay, look. Sorry. Okay. A lot of it's important to use this finger to maintain more muting sounds over here. Okay, this will help you mute a lot. Okay, so the most fingers you use to mute, it's better. Okay, let me know if I can help you in some other things. Vampire MSX says, I really enjoy watching your Lateralus video. Thanks. I was just talking about it and saying that it was a little bit hard to get the tone and whatever, but I hope it goes well into it. I just said in Facebook that the good thing about Tool really is that they don't apply copyright things into videos, so I'm getting full monetization of it, and that's really weird for me. So if it goes well, maybe I can get something in return. That of course will help us into getting this better. But I don't really think about that much. I just want it to be really well done. So in that video you can actually comment for what will be the next YouTube comment video that I will be doing, apart from the Patreon things that I do every month. Can you talk about slides and how to do them more efficiently, like in the song for Whom the Bell Tolls? Okay. I think I will be talking generally about slides. I don't remember really a part on that song. I'm not going to go into the tablature, but a thing that many people don't get right when they're doing slides is that you need to apply less pressure when you're doing a slide. Okay, it's not, if I'm doing something like this, I don't know. When I'm sliding in, I'm never using full pressure. I'm not doing something like this. I'm not burning myself, okay? I'm getting a little bit less pressure into it and apply it constantly into the note. And then I go full pressure, okay? That's important, so it's a really smooth transition also, so you don't feel the passage between frets. Okay, if you do it really strong, you will end up doing something like this, and you will notice the different changes in steps. You don't want that. You want more cleanness into it, and smooth it out with less strength always. Okay, same for whatever slide that you're doing. Okay, if you're sliding in, if you're sliding out, same thing. Okay, if you're sliding out into nothing, that someone always asks about that. Sliding into nothing, doing something like this, and just finishing into nothing. It just has to do with the same. You slide and you lose the grip out of it fast, so it sounds like it got lost into nothing, but it's just you trying to lose the pressure constantly. Okay, that's it. Same for sliding in from nowhere again, same thing. And from note to note, that's important. There's two types of slides from note to note. You can slide from one note to another and not playing the second one, and for that you need a little bit more strength. But if you're doing the same thing but you're attacking again the second note, so doing something like this, you can lose a little bit of the grip again. Okay. Okay, all about expression, thinking about expression. You're trying to go into the note from other note. Same with hammer-on actually. With hammer-on it's a little bit more direct actually. Noticing the difference between hammer-on and slide, it's really important. Actually for me it was important to get into transcription and knowing that difference, knowing that I'm hearing a slide or maybe I'm hearing a hammer-on, and you can notice that because there's different approach into dynamics and there's different approach into what you hear. You can actually hear the passage between going into this note. Okay, it's smoother and this is more direct. Okay. I don't remember any song that I've been playing really. I usually go into the tablature to remember some things, because I play that many songs that it would be difficult for me just to learn them by memory, you know. Okay, I think we're finishing this up for today. I'm not going to extend this that much. Okay, so your final questions, and we can wrap this up. Yeah, the same thing. I know the comments go late, but I just said this. I don't remember any song. I mean, I remember some things, some parts, like the thing with Dark Necessities, but other ones I have to look it up. So, but the question was about slides. I hope I hope I gave you some information about that, how to apply it well. Okay. For specific things, I'm going into the tablature, not for the technique itself. How do you prevent the ringing sound when you play a note? Ben Harlan. Okay, this is important. I mean, there's always two aspects in this. It's an aspect of you playing, doing it well, or maybe the instrument is not that well adjusted. So we need to discard the first thing, that it would be you. many people don't understand that when you play on a fret in bass, especially over here, you have a lot of ground to cover. You're not pressing in the middle or at the beginning of the fret. Okay, if you press at the beginning, you will get something like this. But you go lower, and then you get the full sound. Okay, it's always at the end of each fret that you get the sound. Okay, you can see now I play this and I hear some ringing because I have the action, as I said, of the strings low now. So that depends also if you have a lot of ringing or not. If you have the strings too low, you will get bad sound into it, not just a little bit of a ringing. Okay, and that goes into adjustment, really adjustment of the physicality of the bass. But it's all about technique, about this thing. Okay, remember to do it that way, and other types of ringing may come if you don't know how to mute strings also. Okay, but in most cases it depends on action of the strings, really. And actually, if you don't know how to put your strings well, that may actually don't help, really. Maybe someday I will change strings live, so you know how to do it. But it's not that difficult, really, for bass. I'm using now I'm using the Dario strings, 45s, Excel. It says in the packet, and they are round wound, just standard. I think really standard. I used Dunlop for a while, and I wasn't really fond into it. I don't know. They are a little less bright, and they lose the tone really fast for me. I don't know. Maybe it's not that a big difference, but I tend to go back to the Dario usually. I like the Dario. Okay, do you know what to say after you burp? I don't know. I have to burp again. I don't know. Okay, final question, I think. Yeah. I don't know about Dunlop, but maybe they're not that bad. But I tend to go more into. I never tried Ernie Ball, and I'm a little bit curious. Maybe the next time I'll try some Ernie Balls, and give more experience into my decisions. I don't know. Okay, this is the last one. Okay, can you tell briefly about 5th, 7th, and 9th chords? What that means? Okay, for that I would love to have maybe a board, but I will say it in just in words. Chords have to be compound at least of a triad. A triad, it's 3 notes that are separated by thirds. Okay, that creates a major chord. For example, if you have a C over here, then you have a major chord, major third over it. You have an E, and then you have a major third. If you add that major third into a minor third following, that means from the E to a G, so it's C, E, G, you get from E to G a minor third, so it's a major third and a minor third. Again, you confront, you play those 3 notes together and you get a major chord over here too. Okay, if you want to add more to that chord, you're just going into more steps, and that's everything. Okay, the type of chord will depend on the key, and that just means if you have a C major, the first chord of C major is a C major. It's compound of C, E, and G. So if you're going to get into more notes, there will always be notes that are taken from the scale, the original C major scale. That would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, so if you go a third up from G, you have G, A, B, a third up. So you have C, E, G, sorry, and B. Something like that, but it's difficult on bass, so you tend to go like this. That's a minor. I mean a max 7 or major 7 chord. So if you want to add more into it, you have a ninth. You will have to add a third from the B, and from the B, sorry, a third from the B, it's B, C, and D. So you need to add a D into all of this. Okay, over there, and the ninth, and it's just mounting chords over chords, notes over notes to create chords, but you need to be aware of the notes that are compound into the scale. Okay, I really need I think a board to explain that a little bit better. Really, maybe I'm going to promise this. I will be doing a kind of like a live stream just on theory, so we can go out of many doubts that you may have. Okay, it's difficult to approach that so a lot of people understand it, but yeah, it's all about that. Groups of thirds in most cases, okay, but knowing the intervals will give you all of it, okay, because the model is always the same. A major 7 chord has always the same structure. It's a major third, then a minor third. So you have the major third, the minor third to create the tonic, the third, and the fifth. Then you add the seventh, and the seventh can be a minor seventh or major seventh, and that depends on it would be a B, for example, from C, or a B flat. Okay, so well, you can search a lot of how to create chords really in other channels, or maybe in other parts of Google internet, I don't know, but I promise I will do a theory stream explaining this better, I think. Okay. Gabriel asked, why is my penis so small? And I don't know, man. We all have small penises if we compare it to another penis. So you don't need to be afraid of that. You know, there's always a bigger penis. I don't know what I'm talking about now, but no, you don't need help. No. If you have one, you're good. Okay, this is enough for today. Thanks for being here. I don't know how many people are there. 43. Yeah, we usually have about 30 people watching this and I hope it's some type of help. You know, I imagine myself, if I watch this, I would probably be sitting with my bass and playing around when and when something comes out, I just try to imitate it. Probably, I don't know, but maybe it's a good instance for you to pick up the instrument for an hour and a half and playing around and hearing some stupid things that some stupid person just said. I don't know. And I've been playing for about 6-7 years, man. I say it every time. But yeah, I'm sorry. I need to go right now. So thanks for being here, and as I said, thanks for giving nice questions and being intelligent with your questions, and we can share whatever knowledge that we can have. I will do this next Friday, same hour, at the same time, and I'm hoping for more questions and more clarifications of what I think about anything, really. And remember to practice. I think that's the important thing if you want to get somewhere. It's all about practice in any way, you know. If you want to be proud of what you do, you know. Being proud of what you do, it's really important, I think. And loving what you do. Try to love what you do. If you're not loving this, don't do it, really. It's the only way that you can manage to not get crazy, you know. If you do something that you love, you will not be a crazy person. Yeah, that's it. Thanks. Oh, I'll play a little bit of whatever. I don't know. No, I don't want to today. Okay. Thanks for the questions, and I'll see you next Friday.